There are many voices about the privacy of social networks. What is your view on that?
Well, I think there are reasons why we should be concerned about privacy implications. It turns out that uh, young people in particular reveal a lot of personal information and data on social networking sites, phone numbers, their hobbies, relationships, and so forth. And this can, in extreme cases, put children at risk, no doubt about it. On the other hand side, our research also demonstrates that many users, especially the power users, so the kids who use the internet a lot, have also developed strategies how to deal with privacy issues. So for instance, one strategy, a coping strategy that emerges is that you would not accept a friendship if you don't have any relationship to this person that contacts you and wants you to add him or her to your friends list. So, it's kind of a mixed analysis. On the one hand side, yes, we need to be concerned. On the other hand, I think there are approaches that we see how kids actually start to understand the problem and start to respond to it. So I think key will be more education, that kids learn about what they can do to avoid some of the privacy pitfalls.
And that should be done in school as one of the topics that they should address.
I think what we need is a mixed approach. Schools absolutely play an important role, but I think much of the awareness building also needs to happen at home. So parents should actually discuss these things with their kids, like you would ask, what are your friends and where are you going in the evening? If you say as a kid, I want to go outside and play football or soccer or something like that, you would also ask as parents, like, who are the people you're hanging out with? Similar conversations should also focus on your online experiences as a child. So that's kind of one other part of this strategy. And then finally, of course, also the companies, the software companies, the providers of social networking sites have a responsibility to design the platforms in a way that is privacy friendly, thinking hard about what are the defaults if you start creating a profile. Is it open to the public or not as a default, and be very smart about that kind of design. So,
do you think Facebook is doing that now? Are they acting responsibly?
My sense is that the industry, including Facebook, is investing a lot of effort in making it a safer place. So I would argue, yes, the industry is playing the role increasingly that it should play. Lots of work to be done, to be sure, and it's not a trivial thing to understand as to what extent can you address the problem by technological means, and where are you just relying on users and their responsibility. So they're in a difficult position, but I think they're doing a good job to navigate that space, yes.
In your book you talk about digital natives. Could you explain that term?
Yes, we use the term digital natives more in a metaphoric sense. The definition that we use is threefold. First, digital natives are the kids born after 1980, roughly, who cannot imagine now a life without Google and Wikipedia and YouTube. But age is only one criterion. There are two others that are equally important. Second one is obviously access to digital technologies. We know we have roughly 6 billion people on the world, and only 1 billion has access to digital technologies. So there is this digital divide, and of course that's kind of part of the definition, that the kids have access to technology. The third one is about skills and education. In order to be digital natives, according to our definition, you also need to have the skills to use the technologies in a meaningful way. And there what we see is a new gap emerging, even within a particular generation, a participation gap. So some kids have high media literacy skills and others less developed skills. And this is a new concern, that we are facing a new gap that is not geographic, but within one generation.
What is your key message for companies today, and that you also talked about today?
So I try to address the question today, what happens when digital natives enter the workforce? And I think the key message is listen to them, talk to them as a manager, as a team leader, as HR responsibles, and try to understand what has changed. How do these digital natives treat information? How do they communicate with each other? Practices of sharing, of collaboration. What is different if you compare this new population with kind of the older guys like me? And to think about the implications that this has for companies, both in terms of opportunities as well as challenges.